Ever feel like you're playing life on hard mode? You wake up with your mental energy bar in the red, you're fighting a constant stress debuff, and your focus stat is completely drained. Many assume that true optimization requires expensive software, complex routines, or extreme self-discipline. But the reality is that the most powerful performance upgrades are already built into your system. They are simple physiological levers that, when pulled correctly, can immediately unlock hidden potential. This isn't about magic pills or costly biohacks. It's about using your body's own operating system to your advantage. We've compiled 8 real-life cheat codes, backed by objective data, designed to optimize your cognitive function, manage your stress levels, and accelerate your productivity. These are the quick, high-impact fixes that turn the daily grind into an efficient, rewarding playthrough. First, let's activate the Instant Clarity buff. You wake up tired and your immediate instinct is to reach for coffee. This is a classic move, but it is often a classic mistake. Caffeine works by blocking adenosine receptors in the brain, masking the sensation of fatigue. It does not actually supply new energy. It simply prevents the brain from signaling that it is tired. The problem is that when you wake up after 8 hours without fluids, your body is already in a state of mild dehydration. Since the brain is approximately 73% water, even a 1 to 2% drop in hydration levels can significantly impair attention, memory, and executive function. Trying to run on caffeine alone when dehydrated is like pouring high-octane fuel into an engine that hasn't been lubricated. The real cheat code is simple. Drink a full glass of water, ideally 12 to 16 ounces, before your first sip of caffeine. This rehydrates your brain tissue and optimizes the neural pathways, ensuring that when the caffeine eventually hits, it provides a smooth, sustained boost rather than a jittery spike followed by a crash. You are essentially priming your system for maximum efficiency, unlocking the no brain fog perk right out of the gate. Next, we execute the memory autosave hack. Napping is often mistakenly associated with laziness, but in the context of cognitive performance, it is the equivalent of performing a quick save on your brain's progress. Research indicates that a short, strategic nap of around 20 minutes is the optimal duration. This brief period allows the brain to enter stage 2 sleep, which is critical for memory consolidation and motor skill learning, without plunging into the deep sleep phase known as slow-wave sleep. If you exceed 30 minutes, you risk descending into the deep sleep dungeon, leading to sleep inertia, that groggy, disoriented feeling that cancels out any benefit. The 20-minute power nap specifically allows the hippocampus to transfer recent, short-term memories to the neocortex for long-term storage, effectively clearing the cache and boosting alertness. To maximize this hack, find a dark, cool environment and set a firm timer. You're not slacking. You are updating your firmware, ensuring data integrity for the rest of the day. Now let's address the persistent stress debuff. Stress is the default enemy in modern life, and chronic exposure elevates cortisol. While cortisol is necessary for the initial fight or flight response, chronically elevated levels disrupt the prefrontal cortex, leading to impaired decision-making, memory recall, and emotional regulation. The counter move is the stress debuff walk, a 5-minute exposure to the outdoors. Studies using biomarkers show that even this minimal exposure to natural environments significantly lowers circulating cortisol levels. This effect is attributed to what is called soft fascination, the gentle, non-demanding attention required by natural elements like trees or clouds, which allows the directed attention system to rest and recover. This is not the same as scrolling on your phone outside. It must be an active cognitive break. By stepping away and moving your body, you interrupt the stress feedback loop, allowing your sympathetic nervous system to downregulate. That's a free physiological intervention, often paired with a valuable vitamin D buff, stacked on top of a mood boost. For the anti-procrastination hack, we deploy the famous 2-minute rule. Procrastination is not a sign of laziness. It is often a failure to overcome the psychological activation energy required to start a task. The 2-minute rule states that if a task can be completed in less than 2 minutes, you must do it immediately. The goal here is not to complete your entire to-do list, but to build momentum. The human brain tends to focus disproportionately on unfinished tasks, a phenomenon known as the Zeigarnik affect. By immediately completing small tasks, washing a single dish, sending that quick email, putting away a tool, you clear these mental placeholders. Each tiny win generates a small reinforcing dopamine hit. This positive feedback loop lowers the psychological barrier for tackling larger, more complex tasks later on. The 2-minute rule is the powerful cheat code that helps you bypass the resistance phase and build an unstoppable chain of productivity. Your future self will thank you for the cleared mental stack and the saved energy. When you need an instant system reboot for acute anxiety or overwhelm, cold exposure is your Control-Alt-Delete command. Splashing cold water on your face, holding an ice pack against your neck, or submerging your hands in ice water triggers the mammalian diving reflex. This immediate physiological response is a rapid-fire intervention that activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the body's rest and digest system. The cold shock signals the vagus nerve, which runs from the brainstem down to the abdomen, to dramatically slow the heart rate and constrict peripheral blood vessels. This effectively counteracts the sympathetic nervous system's fight-or-flight response, instantly pulling you back from a panic state. It is a direct, non-cognitive route to calming your nervous system. For peak effect, ensure the water is genuinely cold, below 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and apply it directly to the face or neck area for at least 10 seconds. This is the fastest way to hit the reset button on a system overload. Your brain's working memory is powerful, but like any computer, it has limited capacity, or RAM. The memory upgrade is the simple act of externalizing information. Write things down. Your mind was designed for having ideas and processing complex problems, not for holding every appointment, grocery list, worry, and shower thought you've ever had. When you attempt to store too much information internally, you create cognitive load, diverting mental resources away from the primary task at hand. When you externalize a thought, whether it's a detailed to-do list, a complex plan, or just a stream of consciousness journal entry, you free up that valuable cognitive RAM. Think of it like managing your inventory in a game. You move items from your hands where they obstruct your view and movement to your organized pack, freeing you to engage fully with the world. Journaling and comprehensive lists act as your external quest log. By relying on paper or a digital system for storage, you ensure your mental energy is dedicated solely to problem-solving and creative processing. Write it down and your brain will stop glitching. For high-pressure situations, or when you need tactical composure, use the box breathing technique. This highly effective method is utilized by tactical operatives, including Navy SEALs, to maintain peak performance under extreme stress. The technique follows a specific, regulated pattern. Inhale slowly for a count of 4, hold the breath for a count of 4, exhale slowly for a count of 4, and hold the breath again for a count of 4. This rhythmic controlled pattern is crucial because it physically regulates respiratory sinus arrhythmia, a key component of heart rate variability. By extending the exhale phase, you stimulate the vagus nerve and activate the parasympathetic nervous system, deliberately overriding the body's natural stress response. Practicing 5 cycles of box breathing can significantly lower blood pressure and reduce the subjective feeling of anxiety within minutes. Use this tactical breathing loop before a major test, a job interview, or any personal boss fight where mental clarity and emotional control are paramount. Finally, the foundational code for long-term growth, the 1% rule. Many people fail to achieve ambitious goals because they attempt a massive, unsustainable life overhaul. This all-or-nothing approach inevitably leads to burnout and system failure. The 1% rule operates on the principle of compounding. If you improve by just 1% every day for a year, you end up 37 times better than when you started. The focus shifts from intensity to consistency. Instead of aiming for a massive gym session, aim for 5 extra minutes of movement. Instead of overhauling your diet, make one healthier food choice at one meal. Instead of trying to read a whole book, read 1 extra page. These micro-upgrades are so small they do not trigger the brain's natural resistance to change, yet they stack exponentially faster than you realize. This is continuous integration for your life. You are not required to grind harder, only to be more consistent with tiny, smart upgrades that result in a profound, long-term evolution. These 8 cheat codes are not abstract concepts, they are levers for your biology, offering immediate quantifiable improvements. Hydration provides clarity, napping allows for memory autosave, walking outside lowers the stress debuff, the 2-minute rule builds unstoppable momentum, cold water offers an instant system reboot, writing frees up mental RAM, box breathing ensures tactical control, and the 1% rule guarantees long-term growth. This approach is about working with your body's operating system, not against it. Pick one of these codes, implement it today, and note the immediate difference in your performance and resilience. Stack those small wins, maintain consistency, and remember this fundamental principle. The best results are always built on objective evidence, not temporary hype.